Good to go if you are, Nathan.
Right. Can you go to the first slide?
Yes.
Two up from that one. This one, yeah. All right. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's virtual neighborhood meeting for a conditional use site plan for a proposed assembly use to be located at 105 South Sunset. Next slide, Dallas. All right, to get us started, I'm going to go over our meeting agenda. We'll begin with welcome and introductions. We'll then go into the meeting format and overview. We'll talk about the project and the process. The applicant will have a presentation that they'll go over as well. There will be an opportunity for public comment, and then we'll wrap up with next steps and the conclusion to tonight's meeting. So to start us off, my name is Nathan Jonesmeyer. I'm one of the principal planners here with the city of Longmont. We also have Dallas Stiles, who's our one of our digital media specialists. On the applicant's team, we have Doug Higson, who is the applicant, and Austin Kane, who will be working with Doug as the primary point of contact on this. Next slide, Dallas. All right, so as I mentioned, this is a virtual neighborhood meeting, which means that it is currently being live streamed on the City of Longmont's YouTube channel, where it will be saved for future reference. There will be an opportunity at the end of the presentations for members of the public to call in. So if you're watching right now, there will be an opportunity for you to call in if you have any questions or comments on the proposal. When you do call in, we ask that you mute yourself so we don't have any we don't have any feedback issues with the live stream. The call-in number, you'll be called upon by the last three digits of your phone number. The call-in number is on the screen here. It will be 1-888-788-0099. The meeting ID is 896-1660-4539. After you've spoken, if you have additional questions or comments that you'd like to add, we ask you press *9 to virtually raise your hand, and you'll have another opportunity to speak. Slide. All right, so to get into some of the project overview here, the proposed project is located at 105 South Sunset. It's currently zoned non-residential primary employment. A site plan for the existing structure was approved in 2000. And it's currently being used as office and industrial uses. Next slide. The proposed use is considered an assembly use, and specifically it's proposed to be used as a religious assembly. The current proposal includes interior modifications only, so if there are no external modifications to the site that are currently being proposed. But the assembly use in the non-residential primary employment zoning district requires approval of a conditional use site plan by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Next slide. A conditional use site plan is considered a major development application and as such requires a neighborhood meeting. So that's the meeting that we are holding this evening. At the conclusion of this meeting, the applicant will have the ability to formally submit an application for the conditional use site plan. That conditional use site plan will be reviewed by the Development Review Committee, which consists of representatives from City Planning Department, the city engineers, Longmont Power and Communication, the fire department, among others. We will review the request against the approval criteria and standards of the Land Development Code and develop our recommendation for whether or not to approve the conditional use site plan. That final decision is made by the Planning and Zoning Commission. So once a recommendation has been developed by the DRC, we'll set a date for a public hearing. And we will send notice to members of the public of the date, time, and location of the public hearing. That will be an opportunity for members of the public to once again come out and speak in either support or opposition of the request, or to make any other comments known to the Planning and Zoning Commission. After which time the Planning and Zoning Commission will take up the item and formally vote on a determination on whether or not to approve the request. Next slide. That concludes the staff presentation. Next, we'll move into the applicant's presentation. So Austin, you can take it from here, but I believe you are muted.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Appreciate that. As you very aptly stated, we are seeking conditional use approval for Connection Church in Longmont. Next slide, please, Dallas. Connection Church was founded in 2021 by Pastor Doug Hickson, who is on the line this evening, and his wife, Dana. And given the nature of the use, it's really a fairly low impact enterprise. There are 2 services on Sundays, and on those 2 days, there is a parking cross easement with the building next door. So there's abundant parking on site. And there's not a ton of traffic otherwise. The church is a very welcoming, family-based congregation, and they do offer a couple of meetings each week, but those meetings are limited in attendance and low impact on the surrounding community. Dallas, next slide, please. Not to beat this into the ground, but as part of the NP zoning, we do have to apply for the conditional use, and that is what we are doing here this evening. Part of that process, as Nathan spoke to, is a community meeting, and that's what we're here doing. Next slide, please, Dallas. This shows the rough location of the building. It's an existing building, and it's kind of an office flex format on Sunset. There really isn't much in the way of residential density in the surrounding area. And we feel like it's very congruous to have the assembly use for religious purposes on this site. Next slide, please. And then kind of as a final wrap up and again, hopefully something that assuages any concerns of neighbors about disruption. The church is planning on adaptively reusing the structure. So really the construction is going to be very limited. There will be some construction on the interior of the building, and that may require some roll-offs, but it will be quick and painless by comparison, as we're not actually impacting the outside of the building in any major way. And it limits construction waste, it limits noise, it limits traffic, and it limits disruption to our neighbors. So we're hopeful to earn the support of the city and our neighbors, and look forward to being a good neighbor for years to come. And I think that takes us through it, Dallas. Oh, and if you do have any questions, again, my name is Austin Kane. My email is there. My phone number, since this is being recorded, is 303-807-8172. You're welcome to contact me if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to do my best to address them. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Austin. Next, we'll move into the public comment period. Before we do so, I just want to go over some ground rules. Each speaker will be given about 3 minutes to make the comments. Once you've called in, and it's your turn to speak, please state your name and generally where you live. You don't necessarily have to give your specific address, but just general location of where you live. Please keep all your questions and comments related to this current proposal. And we always ask that you be additive and not repetitive. So if somebody before you made a similar comment that you wanted to make, just for the sake of time, we asked you say, my support what the previous caller had said, and to reiterate and add the support there. But we ask that any comments just be additive. And then finally, because this is a neighborhood meeting, we ask that everybody remain civil and that there are no personal attacks. So that does it for the ground rules. Dallas, next slide. And if you want to take us into the public comment period.
Sure thing. So we're going to set a timer for 5 minutes. If you're watching the live stream now, this is your chance to call in. The number again is 1-888-788-0099. When you get in, you'll need to enter the meeting ID 896-1660-4539. Once you're in the call, make sure that you mute your live stream and start listening to me through your call-in device. With that, we're going to take our 5-minute break for callers to call in. Thanks. We have a little under 1 minute left on our 5 minute timer. If you are watching the live stream, now is the time to call in. Again, that number is 1-888-788-0099, and the meeting ID is 896-1660-4539. Currently, we have no callers. I'll call everybody back in about 30 seconds. All right, that is our 5 minute timer. I am not seeing any callers with questions or comments.
All right, thanks, Dallas. Let's go to the next slide then. Okay, so once again, I will wrap up with the next steps. So following the conclusion of this neighborhood meeting, the applicant will formally be able to submit their development application. That will go to the DRC for review. Once the DRC has completed its review and determined and put together its recommendation, we will move it to the Planning and Zoning Commission. We'll set the date for the public hearing. I should also note that once the application is submitted, we will send out a notice of application to all property owners in the notice area. And then once we've set the public hearing date, we will also follow up with the notice as well. The Planning and Zoning Commission will take up the item and make a final decision on whether or not to approve the conditional use site plan. If the Planning and Zoning Commission approves the conditional use site plan, the applicant will be able to move forward with building permits and eventual construction. If the Planning and Zoning Commission denies the request, the applicant will have the ability to appeal the decision. That appeal goes to City Council for final determination, or they can choose not to pursue an appeal and reapply with a different development application. Next slide, please. All right, that concludes tonight's neighborhood meeting. We have the contact information here. My name, once again, is Nathan Jonesmeyer, and I'm one of the principal planners here. My email address is nathan.jonesmeyer@longmontcolorado.gov. My phone number is 303-651-8439. And the applicant's contact information, once again, that's Austin Kane, AK@wkccolorado.gov. And his phone number is 303-807-8172.
Sorry, that was .com. Just
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
No, not .gov, I guess.
Yeah.
.com. Thanks, Austin.
Force of habit.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you all for viewing, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks all. Have a good evening.
Bye.